In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting was provided on December 5th, 2025 by sending written notice and electronic notice to the Courier News and the Breeze, posting on the website and the bulletin board in the municipal building, and filing with the township clerk. May we have a roll call, please?
Councilman Baco?
Here.
Councilwoman Isla?
Here.
Councilman Kirsch? Councilman Ring?
Good evening here.
President Geiger?
Okay, Pledge of Allegiance time. Please stand. Okay, approval of the minutes. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the April 9th regular session.
I'll
Thank you,
second it.
regular session.
Yep.
Roll call for that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. Going to pass around minutes from the closed session from April 9th and move on to the Township Council reports. Councilwoman Islo, how about if you start?
Sure, thank you so much. As we celebrate Earth Day, I just wanted to remind everyone that it's not just a single act. We want to make sure that Bridgewater looks beautiful even for the people who live here long after us. So this month, I've been engaged in different ways. Councilman Kirsch and some of our county commissioners, Somerset County commissioners, and we actually attended it was just this past Saturday, the Visions and Pathway 5K run and walk at Duke Island Park. It was a beautiful morning. The sun came out. It started off kind of gloomy, but right before the run, it cleared up, and we honored health, community, and the natural beauty of our shared spaces. And I also went over after that to the Feeding Hands, the food pantry, along with some of our high school students to provide food for almost 150 families. And some of those students have actually gone back already after they learned how much help they need. They actually some of the kids went back on Tuesday already. So that's the kind of, future-focused leadership that Earth Days really calls us to nurture. And then on Tuesday, we had a great planning board meeting. We looked at the proposal for the new administrative building for our SRSVA. We looked at some of the building related operations. We discussed some of the DEP regulations, stormwater requirement. It was a very nice conversation on some of the environmental impacts as well, so that Bridgewater grows responsibly. And we protect our land, our water, and our neighborhoods for the future. And then I also joined some of our mayors across New Jersey, including Cape May, over the weekend. And I spoke to them about our coastal resilience as well. So it was just timely with Earth Day. There are things like the seawall that have been long proposed, some other future planning. So if there's a next, not hurricane, but superstorm level Sandy hurricane, we already have those infrastructures in place, not just in Bridgewater, but especially where the coastal defenses are needed mostly. And then we want to make sure that there's some, wind industry concerns there as well. There's a fishing industry that's impacted. So I think, just thinking about all of that on Earth Day reminds us that planting that strong foundation, not just for Bridgewater, but entire New Jersey is critical right now. So I think that was it. We did have some other events in town if other people want to talk about it. On Saturday, there was actually 4 events. So the third event after the food pantry was actually right here in 100 Commons Way. We had a Eid celebration that was hosted by our Al-Falah Mosque. But there were other folks here too, so I'll let them speak on that as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilman Ring, would you like to go next?
Sure, thank you. 2 weeks ago on April 11th, was able to participate in kind of the passage of spring, if you will, the opening day for Bridgewater baseball and softball, which is a long-held tradition here in Bridgewater and a real true family event, and had great weather. It was a very nice event. Earlier this week, I was invited to participate in an elected officials briefing as it relates to upcoming FIFA, in particular New Jersey transit. And for those Bridgewater residents that may be commuting to New York City, it's important to note that New Jersey Transit is recommending avoiding non-essential travel and work from home to the greatest extent possible in particular on match days. Part of that is that 4 hours before any game at MetLife Stadium, New York Penn Station will be closed to anyone that does not have a New Jersey Transit ticket to the soccer game. So if you're a commuter in New York City and you want to come home via New York Penn Station, and it happens to be that there's a day of a soccer game at 8 p.m., such as June 22nd, as of 4 p.m., you cannot enter Penn Station for 4 hours. So the dates in particular, there's 4 weekend matches and 4 weekday matches. The weekday matches are June 16th at 3 p.m., Monday, June 22nd at 8 p.m., Thursday, June 25th at 4 p.m., and Tuesday, June 30th at 5 p.m. And then the weekends are June 13th, June 27th, July 5th, and then the final championship game is on Sunday, July 19th. But for anybody commuting to and from New York City 4 hours beforehand, New York Penn Station is closed. So that's my report.
Thank you very much. I think on that subject, I don't think we're allowed to call it MetLife Stadium during the FIFA World Cup anymore. It's now the New York, New Jersey Stadium, which
That is in New Jersey.
that is in New Jersey, yes. And it replaced the stadium that was also in New Jersey.
Contractually, we signed a contract that requires New York to be listed first.
Yes.
Whole nother topic.
Yes, that's another discussion for another day. But I think it's actually, if you are going to attend, taking the train is quite convenient. It takes you pretty much to the door.
Well, unless you're a FIFA VIP, you cannot drive. Parking lots are closed.
You would have to, or I think there's a shuttle bus option. Thank you very much. Councilman Ring. I'm sorry, Councilman Kirsch.
No problem, and I apologize for being a few minutes late, Mr. President. You must have started right on time. So first of all, it'll always be Giant Stadium to me, so you can call it whatever you want. So back on April 11th, this was, I believe, mentioned, the Bridgewater baseball softball opening day. I had the privilege of doing a brief welcome speech, also throwing out the first pitch. We don't have that, no. All right, there is video, though, of me throwing out the first pitch and throwing a strike, and that's in stark contrast to what happened a few years back when Mayor Mensch threw out a first pitch and practically wiped out 2/5 of the council in former Councilman Norgalis and Curdilla. I know Councilman Ring didn't have great faith in my ability. He issued a warning. That warning was not necessary because I did throw a strike. But it was a great event. Also, ribbon cutting for their new field. That's a great partnership between Bridgewater baseball, softball, and the township. We own the land; they own the improvements on it, and that continues to be a very good relationship for both sides. On the 17th, I had the privilege of attending a meeting at Dominic's Pizza over near the Somerville Circle. We hosted some staff members from the Small Business Administration and had a very successful meeting, both in terms of the conversation and sharing pizza. Certainly the mark of a great meeting in New Jersey. Administrator Pappas, I know, has continues to have some connections over there and was able to renew some friendships. The point of the story is that small business is the backbone of America. It certainly is the backbone of Bridgewater. We have many good news stories. Dominic's Pizza is simply just one of them. On the 18th, I attended the Visions and Pathways 5K run and walk. I'm sorry, I should mention, going back to the SBA, that Council President Geiger was also there. On the 18th at Visions and Pathways, Councilwoman Isla was also there. I had the privilege of offering brief welcoming remarks and then also holding the tape for the finishers, the top male and female finishers of the 5K. Later that day, the Eid celebration out in our courtyard. I affectionately call our courtyard our community front porch. And it was great to see it used for that celebration. And, hopefully, working together, we can utilize that space frequently. Yesterday morning, attended with Councilman Bucko and with Mayor Mensch a tree planting over near the Bradley Gardens School in honor of Arbor Day and Earth Day. Also later last night, I attended as a trustee the Washington Campground Association. Suffice it to say that with the 250th anniversary of America coming up in just a couple of months, plans are fast and furious. As I believe everyone knows, they host a very meaningful celebration at the campground, each year raising a new Hopkinson flag there. And the board spoke about some new ideas, some things that we can help make 2026 even more special than the past, with an eye toward 2027, which is their 250th anniversary. And then I also just want to give a brief report on the animal shelter. They're meeting as we speak. The animal shelter board, not the animals, the animal shelter board is meeting, and I spoke to their chairman, Jim Widley. They have had some strong accomplishment over the last several weeks, including in late March, they expanded their parking area, and that's the building just over my left shoulder. If you're looking straight at the animal shelter on the left side, there's some additional parking that now allows for the convenient placement of all three of their vans. So instead of having to shuffle them back and forth, they can operate much more efficiency. The shelter paid for that improvement as a capital expenditure, and that is my report.
Thank you very much. Do you, as a New Jersey pizza consumer, do you fold your slice?
No, I don't.
Do not.
But I don't use a knife and fork, I'll tell you that.
Okay.
Yeah,
No fold, huh?
no fold.
My report. Let's see. I also attended the New Jersey Transit Office of Government and Community Relations briefing on the World Cup operation. I guess one other thing to add is that if you are interested in utilizing New Jersey Transit for going to see a World Cup game, or are a commuter and are concerned with how it's going to affect you, there's a website specifically for that, njtworldcup.com. So if you are so inclined, please visit that website. On the topic of local baseball, the Bradley Gardens baseball organization will be holding its opening day Sunday, this Sunday, April 26th at 1 p.m. at Ardmar Field. That's off of Old York Road at 1 p.m. This past week, I had the pleasure of attending the Bridgewater Raritan High School Drama Club's presentation of Little Shop of Horrors. It was a fantastic show, and the high school actors and actresses and musicians who put it on definitely should be commended for the great work that they put into that. As Councilman Kirsch mentioned, I also attended the tree planting that was yesterday. I also attended a number of two events that the Heritage Trail Association put on to commemorate the Battle of Bound Brook at the Van Horn House. And we do have some members of the Heritage Trail Association and the president of the association here with us. They may be sharing some local history with us later. And in our previous meeting and prior comments have come into the council via email. There is seemingly not seemingly, there is, I believe, an issue with speeding on a lot of the township roads, especially ones that seem to make up the borders with our neighboring towns. Vossler Avenue, of course, is shared with Boundbrook in some parts, Vanderveer with Raritan, Adamsville Road with Somerville. To that end, I have written to the New Jersey Department of Transportation asking for their support in conducting a study of the exit from US 22 onto Vossler Avenue to see if it warrants changing the yield to a stop in hopes of slowing down the traffic exiting the highway there. I've also reached out to the leadership of the surrounding municipalities to make sure that we have a dialogue on these issues because they are shared amongst all of our community, and the fact that part of some of these roads are outside of Bridgewater shouldn't be an impairment to looking for a solution. And with that, that is the end of my report. Moving on, we have the mayor's report. Mr. Pappas.
Thank you. I have a number of things here. First of all, on May the 9th, here on the grounds of the municipal building, the Raritan Headwaters Association, in conjunction with the Bridgewater Township Health Department, will be holding the annual well water testing. It runs from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., and if anyone is interested, there will be information about that on our website. The next item, I'd like to follow up with Council Vice President Bucko and ask Chief Mitzak if he could come forward to discuss the item about speeding on Vossler Avenue. That was a topic of discussion last week. Captain Thorson was here, and he very adequately handled the commentary and response from the public. But since then, we've had a number of discussions with Chief Mitzak and Mr. Burr, Township Engineer, and others to talk about solutions, the potential replacement of the yield sign to a stop sign, as Mr. Bucko has said, was among those items discussed, but the chief has an update for us about specifically Vossler Avenue.
Yeah, just like you said, like Vossler Avenue is a multi-jurisdictional road, so I reached out to the Chief Giannato from Boundbrook to kind of work with our traffic safety unit to try to see if we can help each other out with trying to slow people down on that road, since it's a very popular road in town. So we've been on that road since April 10th. We have conducted 20 directed patrols during 13 different days. So we vary times that we do the directed patrols on that road. We have stopped 27 motor vehicles. We have issued 21 summonses and gave 6 warnings out on that road for the last 13 days. We had the speed sign monitoring the southbound traffic, and as of yesterday, we moved the speed sign now to monitor northbound traffic. So once that's done for another week, we'll take the sign down, and then we'll see if any of our efforts have caused people to slow down.
What was the fastest speed that you caught someone?
I don't know. I don't have that. Sorry.
Were
No
the
need to
summons
follow up. I was just curious.
Yeah. Were the summons all just speeding, or were they
They're
mixture?
various.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
I think, Chief, if you could just
We're
talk.
stopping them for speeding. It doesn't mean we do have discretion to issue different summonses instead of the speeding violation.
Could you just touch on something I think you mentioned to me about how you were working with the Boundbrook Police about maybe sharing or alternating monitoring speed on the two
Yeah, so
jurisdictions?
we're just, Sergeant Florzak, who's in charge of our traffic safety unit, is working with their traffic officers. So as we're working one side, they're working the other side.
Thank you.
It's working pretty good. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. But again, Bridgewater has hundreds of roads, and we're doing our best. But just because we're there today and we moved, it's going to happen again, unfortunately.
4 officers dedicated to traffic enforcement?
At times. Yeah, on Tuesday, actually, we had the whole traffic safety unit in, handling all the speeding issues, speeding complaints in town, so. Which is a county, right? It's a county road. Correct. Yeah, I was aware of it, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to just add a commentary about the Friday event at Dominic's Pizza. The two individuals from the U.S. Small Business Administration, the Deputy Administrator of the agency, Bill Briggs, was here, as was the Regional Administrator for the SBA, Matt Hoffman. And they expressed an interest in helping businesses here in Bridgewater Township. It was also mentioned that there was the tree planting in the commemoration of Arbor Day at Alfred Brown Park yesterday. Tomorrow is actually Earth Day, and there will be, there has been some information, there will be an announcement about a program called Trees for Tomorrow that we are going to be promoting, and I want to thank Superintendent of Public Works, Dickie Schimpf, for proposing this, and for Suzanne Mader for assisting in rolling this out. I do have a memo that I want to share with the council. If I could ask the council to take one, pass it down. The last council meeting, there was some communication and statements made regarding the Green Knoll Grill, and I was asked to provide some commentary about that, and what I've done here is this is the first of a two-part communication with the governing body, just specifically outlining here the process that the township is involved in processing liquor license, reviewing and approving liquor license renewals each year, and the role that various offices play. There will be a subsequent memo that I'll be producing probably within the next week that will provide some specificity about some of the issues that have taken place that originally brought this to the council a few years ago. And so I will share that with you probably over the next week. The next item that I'd like to address, really two requests. I guess you would call this a presentation for two ordinances that the administration is requesting that the council consider. The first documents that I will be distributing here is a memo that has been prepared by Catherine Sarmad, our planner, that outlines the specific of the proposal. And then the second document I'll be passing out is the proposed ordinance. We have many businesses here in Bridgewater. One of them, the Mercedes-Benz dealership on Route 22, has recently acquired about 11 or 12 acres surrounding the auto dealership. There had been a number of hotels and other commercial establishments that had been approved, site plan approval that had been granted, but they are at this point not moving forward, and the owner of the Mercedes-Benz dealership is likely looking to expand the dealership with perhaps a new structure. On a temporary basis, though, he has the need to store vehicles for a short period of time until such time as he submits a full-blown site plan application that would have a permanent arrangement for these vehicles. And what Ms. Sarment has done is outlined this in a memo, and she has worked with our township attorney in drafting an ordinance that would again allow for a temporary parking permit for this particular parcel. And so that is submitted to you for your consideration.
Clarify. This would be for parking on the adjoining.
Yes, yes, that he now owns. Yes. So if you look at it, have questions, today or later? Okay. The next memo that I would like to distribute is from Bill Savo, our Township Attorney Emeritus. This is, and then a draft ordinance, excuse me, this is not the draft ordinance, this is the, the memo is on one side, the reverse side is the proposed ordinance amendment, and the other document that I'm going to give you is an ordinance that the Township Council approved in May of last year. This was for one of the affordable housing projects on Whitney Court. The planning board a few weeks ago approved the site plan for this 5-apartment unit structure for hearing impaired individuals. The ordinance amendment that is being proposed is simply to acknowledge the name of the corporate entity that is now needing to own and to operate this facility. There is an urban renewal designation as part of the corporate entity's title that's required due to funding requirements that they obtain from either the state or the federal government. And Mr. Savo's memo, again, the accompanying ordinance amendment is just that, just adjusting the recognizing or affirming the change in the title needed for this particular program. I think that's it.
Mr. President, if I may, just very briefly comment about Green Knoll Grill. I don't see Lisa Balducci here. I don't see her attorney, David Cassidy, here. So I'm not looking to have a soliloquy on this. But I do want to mention for the record, anybody interested in hearing comments that were made on this topic for themselves and draw their own conclusion, the original conversation occurred on the March 19th meeting between the time marks of 1 hour, 45 minutes and 2 seconds and 1 hour, 45 minutes and 30 seconds. And then at the meeting on April 9th, the public comment from Ms. Balducci and some interplay or exchange with myself occurred between the timestamps of 1 hour, 44 minutes and 50 seconds and 1 hour, 51 minutes and 32 seconds. And the other thing I want to make sure that the public is aware of is that in the intervening time, there is an email that was sent from Mr. David Cassidy, and out of courtesy to him, I want to get this absolutely correct. It was sent on April 15th, 2026. It was sent to the entire council, making it a public record. And what I would like to do is I will forward it to our clerk and ask that it be included in the record of this meeting so that the public is aware of what was communicated on April 15th between Mr. Cassidy and the council. Again, it is a public record, it is available, and in the interest of full transparency, I want to make sure that the public is aware of every exchange that has occurred on this subject. I came to this meeting prepared to discuss this matter and hopefully come to a conclusion. I'll simply have to bring my notes back with me at the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Are the two ordinances that you've distributed, are you asking to have them introduced today?
No, perhaps next meeting if that's possible. If you can review it, if you have any questions.
Okay.
Introducing it the same night to allow council time to digest it and perhaps suggest if changes are needed.
Okay. Thank you very much.
These seem very cut and dry, though.
So basically the homework is speak over the next 2 weeks with administration if there's anything in need of change.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving along to the next item on the agenda, proclamation, there is none. Presentation, there is none this week. Number 9, meeting open to the public. Members of the public wishing to address the council on any matter will have 3 minutes to speak, which may be extended at the discretion of the council president. An additional minute will be allotted for responses to comments from the dais. May I have a motion to open the meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the meeting is open. If you wish to speak and address the council, please sign in on the sheet on the table and approach the podium.
Very much. Good evening, Council Vice President and Councilwomen, Councilmen, and staff. My real name is Cynthia Blumenkrantz. I'm the president of Heritage Trail Association, which is located in Bridgewater, across the street from the ballpark, which is why they're the Patriots. And I'm here to give you a history minute or two. So first, I would like to say thank you very much, Mr. Bucko, for your family enjoying our weekend at the Battle of Bound Brook. So the 250th anniversary of the United States of America, which was coined by an Irishman, Colonel Stephen Moylan, who's attached to the Van Horn House through marriage. Its running actually started last year with the Lexington and Concord anniversary, 250th anniversary, and it goes until 2033. So most people are very focused on what's happening this year, which is the 250th signing of the Declaration of Independence. But it actually goes on, as was mentioned, Washington Campground is going to have their anniversaries too. So 2027, Battle of Bound Brook will have its 250th, 2028. The Middlebrook Winter Cantonment, which was the winter that Washington and all his staff lived in Somerset County in various places, that will have its 250th anniversary as well. So going back a little bit, in 1775, which was last year, the Second Continental Congress sent their olive branch petition to the king. It was already known that we were deciding that we did not want to be part of that group anymore. People forget that we were colonized for 100 and some odd years, 150 years, on our own without having really any representation here. And King George III said, send a warning, basically slapping the errant children on the wrist and saying, okay, get your stuff together and remember that you're British. So on May 10th, the Second Continental Congress began. May 23rd, this again 1775, the New Jersey Provincial Congress was founded, which was integral as an intermediate step between the British government and the last British governor here in Perth Amboy to, bless you, to our own governance. June 14th, Congress created the Continental Army. June 14th is also the beginning of 1777, actually, of Flag Day and the Middlebrook flag that was raised over here, designed by Francis Hopkinson. Mythbuster, Betsy Ross never made a flag in her life. That's fact. And you can go to Francis Tavern in New York City and see the circle flag dated 1792. So she made shirts, and there was a receipt for that, but she did not make a flag. So on June 19th, George Washington takes command of the Continental Army. July 8th, 1775, the Second Continental Congress signs the olive branch petition with the king. August 23rd, King George III issued a proclamation of rebellion to the colonies. And October 13th, 75, the Continental Army, Navy, sorry, Dad, the Navy was formed. And in 1776, the Second Continental Congress argues and prepares, it was so unruly, the argument, that one member bonked another one on the head with his head of his cane, and that was just unheard of because tempers were high. And they prepared the Declaration of Independence. So I know that you know, and maybe most of your residents know, that this township was chartered by the King George II on April 4th, 1749. And that's important. There are a lot of things that happened. The king also mandated that every 10 to 15 miles around any kind of where rivers meet or where people travel 10 to 15 miles, there had to be a tavern. Had to be, was government, it was law. They also had to have farms, and they had to have a way to feed each other. And so, with all of that, we'll continue on with everything else going on for the 250th, because it's not just the second ever ball drop from New York City. It's a revolutionary crystal ball that will drop on July 3rd. And so that's never happened before. That will happen on July 3rd. And let's see, July 8th is when the Declaration was actually read. And on the East Coast, that was at 6 p.m. So if you go to Hawaii 250, this is fun, it's free, anybody can do it. You go to Hawaii 250, you click on the Hawaii 250 Declaration. Their goal is to have the entire Americas, all the territories, everybody there with a little star for their location and a commitment to read out loud the Declaration of Independence to yourself, to your family, to your dog, to your cat. Doesn't matter, you're just going to read it, because honestly, most people never, ever, ever get past "we the people." And there are things down in the body of that declaration that spell out exactly why we wanted to split. And those things have crept up again. And so it's important that we read it and that we know what that document says as a founding document. And I'm going to say that I say that as a naturalized American. And I take to heart my American citizenship very strongly. Also, July 8th, on the courthouse green here, we're going to be celebrating this 250th reading of the Declaration of Independence out loud, too. And so I am your humble servant, and hopefully can see you again. And if you have any questions or you want to have some historic fun, the Van Horn House has a lot of things going on, just like everybody else. So please take advantage of it. Thank you for those of you who have, and God bless America.
Thank you.
Brief comment, if I may. First of all, thank you for your efforts. I think all of us in our own way have bought into the importance of our history and relaying our history, and the critical connection to Bridgewater, the land that we live on today. You had mentioned, and I agree with you, that most people do not read or have not recently read the Declaration of Independence, but people who have read or have had it read for them include anyone who goes to the Washington campground on the morning of July 4th. It is read each year. It's a moving ceremony. So I'll continue to beat the drum, encouraging people to go to that through the Washington Campground Association, through our own efforts here in Bridgewater Township. We'll certainly make sure that the event is as robust as possible. But a highlight definitely is a reading of the Declaration of Independence. That organization provides scholarships to a few different local high schools, and as has now become a tradition, the students who receive those scholarships read portions of the Declaration, and then the assembled crowd in unison reads, I guess, the final paragraph, maybe the punchline, if you will. Obviously some people will be around, some people will be at the shore, some people will be wherever they, in the mountains or wherever they might be, but for those who are in or near Bridgewater that weekend, it will be a meaningful event.
Thank you. And friends of mine and we dress up and we read the Declaration after the 9:30 Mass at Immaculate Conception every year. And I've been known to read it in the diner where we go afterwards. So just a quick story. Went there the first time to read that, asked permission, they said yes. I went to the group, the big part of the room, and said, we're going to read the Declaration of Independence because I bet you've never read the whole thing. And who would like us to read it? Raise your hand. Most of the tables raised their hand. A couple tables said no. And I said, great, because in this tavern, that's exactly what happened when it was being discussed. Some people did, some people didn't, but now we're all going to hear it. And so we read it. Everybody was amazed. The other side says, please read it to us. So it's an important document. It's a founding document. And thank you so much for uplifting that and keeping our America going.
I do have a question, and you may not know the answer to this, and that's okay. But we have a, I don't know, is that a
Hopkins flag?
Yes, it is.
The flag?
Kind of a Hopkinson flag.
Kind of.
Hopkinson flag had 6-pointed stars.
Well, it's close. We're hosting that. There's a plaque that kind of explains what that is and why we're hosting it. It's close.
It's
Close.
It's the closest one that I've seen, and we did see it unveiled and put out there at the county meeting when we thankfully got a grant. But it is the Hopkinson flag, Francis Hopkinson. Okay, here's a quickie, if I may. How many signers of the Declaration were from New Jersey?
6.
How many?
4 or 6.
5. You were close. You were close. Hopkinson, Clark, Witherspoon, Stanton, and Hart. Hopkinson created the flag. He also created the seal for the great state of New Jersey. He also worked on the Great Seal of the United States of America. He also designed the ensign, which is the flag for the United States Navy, when he was in Washington's cabinet. So he's extremely an important guy. And we know that he designed the flag because he asked Congress for a quarter cask of Madeira, which they said no because somebody in the group didn't like him. And so we know he did it because they said, no, you're an employee, you don't get to have Madeira for doing your job. So anyway, little side note. But thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing us to speak and come to the Van Horn House.
My question was actually more that.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. The Starfield bears a fairly striking resemblance to the standard of General George Washington. Do you know if that was a coincidence or was that on purpose?
And George Washington's standard is 6-pointed flag stars as well, 6-pointed stars. So his background color is a little different shade of blue, was the blue sash that he wore as well, but it was also 6-pointed stars. Now, if you're thinking another group that has 6-pointed stars, that wasn't until pretty recent in history, not way back in the 1700s. So that was a thing. It was their family crest. It was Washington's family crest. It was Hopkinson's family crest. And so, yes, but the layout of Washington is pretty much like that. And you'll see it wherever His Excellency is. We'll have his standard out.
Thank you.
Anything else? I could go all day, but you guys have
Thank
a
you.
great night.
Thank you.
I'm going to go to see my friend Jimmy and tell him I'm Sarah Jane and get a meal.
Thank you very much. Just ask if there was any other members of the public, but I see we do have another member of the public wishing to speak.
Jen Lochran, and Councilman Bucko, you kind of stole my thunder. I was gonna drop the Washington Standard fact or info, but you beat me to it.
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. I wanted to again bring to the council's attention that there was a Revolutionary War hero. His name was Oliver Cromwell. I actually had no idea he even existed, which is kind of remarkable in and of itself, until I was appointed to Parks, and I tried to research the history of Camp Cromwell and where the name Camp Cromwell came from, which we could probably all assume was, the other Oliver Cromwell. But in that research, I discovered Oliver Cromwell, and I'll just give you some of the facts because I'll just go all over the page here. He was a distinguished African-American veteran of the Revolutionary War whose courage and merit earned personal respect and he was honored by General George Washington himself. He was born in 1752 in what is now Columbus, New Jersey. Back then it was Black Horse. He served with Colonel Israel Shreve's 2nd New Jersey Regiment, and he followed Washington all throughout the war. He lived to be 100 years old, and in an interview, he would tell everybody that he met. He lived in Burlington. He would tell everybody that he met on the street that he was a Revolutionary War drummer, and his bragging rights was that he crossed the Delaware with Washington. In some earlier renditions of that painting that we all know, there were several members in Washington's boat that some people believe could have been him, but there's no substantial evidence that he was in the same boat. But he did cross on December 25th, 1776. He fought at Trenton, Princeton, Brandywine, Monmouth, and Yorktown. And he was given an honorable, I think it's the Purple Heart now, but it was called something else then, by Washington himself. He was also the first Black man to receive a pension from the Army, although it was very, very small. Though I can't find any confirmed records of him being at Middlebrook, because of all of the different battles and following Washington, it's pretty conceivable that he was probably at Middlebrook. And okay, that was all my notes. So I had mentioned that, I had thought that it was a long overlooked, not just a person, but the free men of the Revolution were long overlooked in recognition. And I had also mentioned that I would love to see that happen. So I don't know if you know that I work at RVCC now, and I'm the welding instructor over there. And I've been working on a sculpture of a Revolutionary War drum in honor of him. Yeah, I hope to be able to share that with the council. It's pretty cool. It's metal. I mean, metal's always cool, but it actually is. It's titled "Drummer of the Revolution," which was one of the last statements that he had made on his 100th birthday, and yeah, I look forward to sharing it with you guys soon. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other members of the public wish to speak?
Signed in already?
Thank you.
Tim Kenny, 198 Short Hills Drive. Yes, so I wanted to speak about you were planting trees, and the one word that was missing was native plants. And according to Rutgers University, it was around before the Revolution, of course, under imperial law. So they have an article here dedicated to native plants. Before Henry Hudson and the other explorers landed in this continent, there were not just people here, there were trees, flowers, and bushes that every bug, bird, animal would use for food, for nests, for protection. And then we got the great idea, hey, let's go to Japan and bring back cherry trees and plant them all over Washington and have a festival for them when they bloom. The problem with that is all the native animals are declining. Everything from hummingbirds to bees, butterflies, and other animals. So I noticed when I walked in, you have a nice lobby there, and not one of the bushes that's out there is native to New Jersey or Somerset County. So I actually emailed Councilwoman Isla, because I have a list of native trees, and some of them are really common, like the red oak and the white oak tree. So if you're planting a tree, make sure it's native. Everything around us is dying because of us. And if we start being more responsible with what we plant, and 80% of the plantings are in residential places, but we also have a responsibility because we're renovating parks, so you have to make sure you have native trees going in, and bushes, and flowers. Another thing about the flowers, they're all perennial. They don't die because they're used to it, right? So if it's an annual, it's not native. There's nothing wrong with having a few flowers that are not native, but if we all planted native from here on in, we would have all these other animals that have been interacting with them and counting on them. Like, for example, a hummingbird is going to go from Canada, and they have to stop somewhere to eat, right, and rest. And they're looking for native bushes, right? And they can't find any. So they starve and die. And they never make it to Mexico. That's what's happening. So it's our responsibility as humanity to make sure we're moving forward, thinking about, is it native, every time we think about planting something. Rutgers has a website, New Jersey Society of Native Plants in Somerset County also does. And there's like something like over 1,500, and you can get lost in the sauce very easily. That's why I made a short list for you with common, what I would call them big boys. The tree's like a red oak, right? A big tree that's like going to grow to 50 feet high. Yeah, so this is a list of them right here. I also want to call, all right, show of hands. Who uses Google for their searches here? Oh, wow. I thought it was about 90% for the whole world. Okay. I use one that my daughter told me about called ecosia.org. So they just announced on Earth yesterday that they have funded 250 million native tree plantings around the world since they started 10 years ago. So that's a major, like for example, Canada had huge fires that we had all the smoke that hit this area. So who went there and funded the trees for Canada? Ecosia was one of them. So if you're going to use a browser, you might want to consider using them. I'm not getting paid by Ecosia, but I use it myself, okay? And if you want to know what a plant is and you're not sure, I use an app called PlantNet. So that's PLANTNET. And that will tell you for free what that plant is. Then you can look up that plant and see if it's native. Yeah, so I have a plan. Bountiful Gardens in Hillsborough is on Rutgers' list to be approved by the state to sell native plants. Not everybody is. You have to go through, all the loops and all the documentation to get approved to sell it. And Grays, I go there, and like everybody else, they've never heard of this. They carry some that they don't know are native, and then other ones that they don't, right? So I had them order Jersey tea bushes for my front yard. Yeah, so I just want to make sure that Bridgewater is being responsible moving forward. Those hummingbirds can stop in Bridgewater, eat and rest, like a rest stop, right? We'll be the Starbucks for them, okay?
Yeah.
Any questions?
Thank you for that list. I'll make sure we forward it.
I have a paper version of it if you want it, Grace.
Sure.
Thanks.
We put that in the minutes? Yeah. Thank you.
And thank you for compiling it and giving us the short list. I know that took some time.
Yes, it did, but thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Hello?
Good evening, council members and staff. My name is Rebecca Mielek. I am a resident of Lebanon Township in Hunterdon County. I am a 10th generation farmer, and I have been operating Mielek's Town Farm, a seasonal farm market at 351 Route 28 for 20 years, providing our own homegrown fruits and vegetables and CSA program to the local community. I'm here tonight speaking out because I'm concerned about the proposed storage facility planned for this market location. It's currently seeking variances before the zoning board. If this storage facility is approved in its current design, Mielek's Town Farm will lose its presence in Bridgewater. and residents will lose a seasonal farm market that has served the community for generations. I urge Bridgewater Township to preserve the farm market in any development that is approved for this location. And that concludes my comments. Thank you.
Mr. President, if I may, so that is an active case before the zoning board.
Yes.
We are unable to comment on that. We certainly heard what you said, but the zoning board, as I believe you know, or sounds like you may know, is a quasi-judicial board. Any aggrieved parties from any decisions from the zoning board can either go the route of the court or they can come to this township council. So while we remain aware of what is being heard by our zoning board, by its nature, we cannot get involved nor express opinion, but you know, thank you for letting us know your thoughts.
Yes, just trying to raise awareness this evening.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have you been to the zoning board yet?
I have not. I've
Okay.
not being a resident. I'm being
You're entitled
sort of as a renter. I'm sort of a precarious position, but I plan to attend next week.
Well, what we have is a newsletter, which you can sign up for, an e-newsletter. Anyone can, whether they live in town or out elsewhere in New Jersey or really anywhere. We publish our agendas along with the 2 land use boards. So by getting onto that distribution, you will be fully alerted to any time that that property is being discussed in front of the zoning board, and that's available through our website.
Yes, thank you very much for that information. Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Yes.
Seeing no other members of the public wishing to comment, I'll make a motion to close public comment.
Just before you make that motion, would just like to remind the public that Bridgewater's website is bridgewaternj.gov, in case you didn't know. But we have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's been a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the meeting is now, public comment is closed. Moving to the next item on the agenda, public hearing and final action on ordinances. 10A, calendar year 2026 ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limit and establish a cap bank under NJSA Chapter 40A, 4-45.14.
Open public comment first, or?
Does the township administrator wish to make any comments about the ordinance before we open?
Sure, I could make a brief comment. This is an ordinance that this governing body and just about every other governing body in New Jersey considers each year. The cap laws provide municipalities the ability to capture and bank an increase for a second year if needed, and that's what this ordinance, if adopted, would accomplish.
Okay, thank you. Did I hear a motion to,
I'll make a motion to open public hearing.
hey, is there a second? I will
I'll
second
second.
it. You can second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we are open to comments on 10A.
Seeing no member of the public wishing to comment, I move to close public hearing and move for final action.
Okay?
I'll second.
Second. Okay, all in favor to move to final action?
Well, you can do a roll call and vote on
We
one
don't have to
combined.
vote on the motion,
Yeah.
okay. Roll call vote, please.
Councilwoman Isla,
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch,
Yes.
Councilman Ring,
Yes.
Vice President Bacco.
Yes. Believe that passes? Okay. Moving to 10B, an ordinance of the Township of Bridgewater amending Chapter 182 of the Bridgewater Township Code to require snow and ice removal from private roadways servicing multifamily residential developments. Since I guess I was the author of this, I'll give some comments about it before we open to public comment. This would set a requirement that multifamily residential developments clear the snow and ice from their interior roadways and walkways in the same way that property owners are required to clear snow and ice from public sidewalks on their own properties. I think we should be clear that this is, even though there is this would allow the township to, as a last resort, clear snow and ice from private property, same as for sidewalks. It is not something that the township is wanting to do or intends to do. And that would only be a last resort in case of, I would imagine, dire emergency. I also would be remiss if I did not mention that there was some concern that was voiced by an individual from the Homeowners Association of Loft Farms. The concern that was raised is that their agreement with their snow removal firm requires removal within 24 hours of the end of a snowstorm. The ordinance that we have in front of us has a requirement for snow to be cleared within 12 daylight hours from the end of a snowstorm. There is the I do think that those two align actually quite nicely, because for virtually all of winter from September 26th through March 17th, there is less than 12 hours of daylight in any given day. So, it would, the 24 hours on the clock would more or less correspond with 12 hours of daylight time following the end of a snowstorm. But I do want to mention that because there was a concern voiced, and I don't want to give the impression that this was not, that concern wasn't heard. Beyond that, may I have a motion to open public comment on this ordinance?
You want to make the motion?
I will make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor of opening for public comment?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we are open to public comment on 10B. If any member of the public wishes to speak on this? Seeing none, I will make a motion to close the public comment.
And move to final action.
And move to final action, thank you.
Yeah.
Is there a second?
Yeah, can I make a comment?
You want to just to take the second, and then we can open for discussion?
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, so, yeah, thank you for bringing up that example from Law Farms, because, even in this document, we're seeing that we mentioned 12 daylight hours, and then we do have mention of just 24 hours, which is just regular. It's not specified as daylight hours, so we do tend to go, both ways in some parts of it. If you want me to give you an example, I caught a couple. So 1882-4 under violations and penalties, when we talk about the last line under A, each and every 24-hour period that such violation continues shall be considered a separate and distinct offense. So I think it's clear, and then under B, there's another mention of 24-hour, and then earlier in the document also there's mention of 24 hours. So I just wanted to point that out, that we do fluctuate between that daylight rule versus just 24 hours in general.
And Mr. President, just for visibility for the rest of the council, you and I spoke about this. I'm very comfortable the way it's written. I think the likelihood of there being conflict is very, very low. I think in the case of Loft Farms, their likelihood of being compliant is very, very high. And my only suggestion is, perhaps when they renegotiate with their, landscaper, whenever the duration of that contract ends, that perhaps they can, mirror us, so that there's absolutely no possibility of miscommunication. I agree with everything that you've said. I don't need to reiterate any of it. The only thing I will emphasize is that while Bridgewater Township does not intend to get into the business of private property snow and ice removal, the part of this ordinance that we are very serious about is the increased penalties. And it is our hope that that will catch the attention of anyone who believes that they do not have a responsibility to clear ice and snow in a timely manner. The fine structure will, I believe, catch their attention quickly. I think this is, a good move. I think, for better or worse, we learned a lot from the difficult winter that we had. We learned a lot from the very, very cold snow and then the very, very high quantity snow. I want to also acknowledge our Office of Constituent Relations for particularly strong communications in advance of the second storm that hopefully can be an example in the future, when we're expecting substantial snows, advice on people, get cars off the roads and, things like that. And hopefully, all private landowners will have sufficient time to make appropriate arrangements to clear the snow once it's fallen. I want to compliment you for leadership on this topic, for taking it on, taking inputs, and I believe that what we have here is a strong solution for the community.
Thank you very much. I just, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to address the 12 daylight hours versus 24 hours for violation, and the 24-hour violation period, I guess is the right way to describe it. First of all, it comes from the existing language of the ordinance that is currently on the books. And the snow and ice removal requirement is 12 daylight hours. And once a property is in violation of that, potentially that means that they can be fined for that at that point. But then if they are still in violation 24 hours later, then they can be fined again, potentially, if they have not remedied the situation. So I don't think that there's any discrepancy there, because they're really talking about two different things. The period of time when we would expect that snow and ice is removed or addressed with melting agent as necessary, versus the time when for lack of a better term, the clock of a violation resets. But please go ahead, Councilman.
No, I agree with you. I don't think there's any concerns of the 12 and 24, and I know a lot of work has gone into this, and I know a lot of changes, and I will tell you, when this first came out, I had a lot of concerns. I'm much more comfortable with where it's at today, but the one thing I've heard a couple times tonight is we do not intend to get into the snow removal business on private property. My concern is by including that we have the option to, we set up an expectation for residents in any of these complexes that we will. And if we think about that, it's not going to, but it snows tomorrow, and it's not cleared, and a violation notice is issued. We're probably, if we're lucky, 30 days before that individual would appear in municipal court and a decision would be made on that penalty. Meanwhile, the complex is still not plowed. And at some point, those residents are going to be looking for us to invoke our clause that we have the option to clear snow. I think by including it, we set up a false expectation, and it will be challenging for the town to say why we're not going to clear it. When we put in the ordinance, we will. But that's my opinion. Thank you.
Well, I guess the only counter to that would probably be to look at the history of the existing ordinance, and has the Public Works gone out and cleared sidewalks from private property owners who have not cleared snow from them. I don't know if Mr. Pappas has any information about that, but I don't think that has happened.
That's correct. That's correct. Not that I'm aware of.
Right, so, yes, it's a tool in the toolbox, but it's one that I don't envision being taken out.
Mr. President, just to definitively state, in the event that push does come to shove and we are required, or there is, compelling reason to use that tool, I think it also bears stating that that tool would only be used after every inch that our DPW is responsible for has been sufficiently cleared. And that includes our roads, the municipal complex, the library, the senior center. If and only if every single inch has been cleared, then and only then would the superintendent even entertain the possibility of utilizing that tool.
Absolutely. I would expect that would not happen until, as you said, every other area that the Public Works is responsible for has been cleared, and at that point, how many days did it take to fully recover from the previous snowstorm? I believe it was
A couple of weeks.
it was at least more than a week. So, if we're at that point, we're probably looking at a property that has been fined in the minimum amount at this point, a couple $1,000s. That would hopefully be a strong incentive to just take care of your own property. But I would, I guess we wouldn't be here discussing this if that was in fact the case. But in any case, that's I think that is very important to reiterate that this is not turning Bridgewater into the responsible party for clearing the snow in private lots. Private roads.
So you have a motion and a second on the table.
Yes. So is there any other comments?
No, thank you, everyone, for working on the ordinance.
Okay, may we have a roll call vote, please?
Councilwoman Isla,
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch.
Yes.
Councilman Ring,
No.
Vice President Bacco.
Yes. That is a pass.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Moving along to the introduction of ordinances, and there are none. And moving to resolutions. 12A. authorizing submission of the fiscal year 2027 Bridgewater Raritan Municipal Alliance request for application with Somerset County Board of County Commissioners in the amount of $15,731.50.
I'll make the motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
I have a question. And I know I brought this up last year, but this is the Bridgewater Raritan Municipal Alliance. This is a 50-50% funding. So we get 50% through county commissioners. And while not a significant dollar amount, the other $7,865 to fund the Bridgewater Raritan Municipal Alliance is being funded fully by Bridgewater.
Yeah, Mr. President, I recall this conversation last year, and I recall our desire, this may seem like, an attempt to just literally split a few dollars, but I think there's an important principle here, and I think that's what you're referring to, Councilman Ring, that, whatever our split is with the school district, if it's, 80-20, 90-10, 85-15, whatever it is, it feels like that principle should apply here. So I don't know, Mr. Pappas, do we have the ability, without creating any undue harm, to hold this until our next meeting, get the number, get the proportionality identified, and, get our friends in Raritan Borough on board to pay their share?
I don't know, frankly, if there is any deadline with regard to this. Probably not, but I'm not sure. I know that members of the council have raised this before. At one point, I think I attempted to research it and did not complete it, and I apologize for that. We'll certainly try to do so. I don't recall what feedback that I had received. I do recall that the reason I never come back to the council was I think there didn't appear to be any path for us to pursue this, but I don't recall the details. So, I mean, I suppose you could hold it for the next meeting. I don't know that there's a specific deadline, so you could table it. And I cannot commit to have any resolution with the Borough of Raritan, frankly, in the next 2 weeks. Just being realistic, I cannot commit to another municipality's
Understood.
ability or desire to respond in the manner that you've proposed.
But the attempt can be made.
Yes.
So then I'll make a motion to table 12A with an anticipation that we can determine potential proportionality with the Borough of Raritan for this item.
Okay. Before you
I'll second it.
Before you second that, Mr. Pappas, what does DEDR stand for?
DEDR, it's an acronym. Trying to remember. I think this is a fund that there are fines collected for, I think, fines for those of individuals that may have been convicted of driving under the influence. I think, I'm not positive. And I think that's a funding source that's received and utilized for these purposes. And there are other, I remember my days with the county, this was something that came up numerous times under various social service agencies.
Okay. And the in-kind contributions, what does that amount?
I think that would amount to our staff time.
Staff time, okay. So not that staff time is free, but am I reading this correct, that the cash match is the only direct monetary contribution?
I believe, yes, that's correct.
Okay. All right. We have a motion to, was that to
Table.
table?
Table it till the next meeting?
Okay, table to the next meeting. Is that a?
You have a second.
Is that a second? Is that a roll call?
Yes.
or- Okay. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Isla,
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch.
Yes.
Councilman Ring,
Yes.
Vice President Bacco.
Yes. Okay.
Before you move to 12C, consistent with my past practices, I will be abstaining due to being a member of the Elks.
Okay, 12B was taken off the agenda prior to the meeting. 12C, resolution authorizing a waiver of fire prevention permit fees in the amount of $100 for the Somerville Elks Lodge number 1036 in support of the Drug Awareness Program food truck event on May 9th, 2026.
I'll make a motion on 12C.
Thank you. I will second that. Do we have any comments or questions on this resolution? Okay, seeing none, can we go to a roll call?
Councilwoman Isla,
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch,
Yes.
Councilman Ring, Vice President Bacco.
Yes.
Mr. President, you may be able to take action collectively on 12D, E, and F together, given their similar nature.
Okay, is there,
You just need to read the headings of 12D, E, and F, then we make a motion on consent.
okay, no one would be abstaining
No
from,
abstentions,
okay,
no opposition.
okay. All right, in that case, is there a motion to combine those?
You don't need a motion.
You don't need it.
Okay.
You just read the headings and then you take a motion to do all three.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, 12D, a resolution authorizing the waiver of fire prevention permit fees in the total amount of $340 to the Al Falah Center for the Eid celebration event held on April 18th, 2026 at the Township Municipal Building. 12E is resolution authorizing a waiver of fire prevention permit fees in the amount of $100 for the Somerset County Vocational and Technical High School, SCVTHS, PTO in connection with their annual Tricky Tray fundraiser to be held at 14 Vogt Drive on Saturday, May 2nd, 2026. And 12F, resolution authorizing a waiver of the summer camp health inspection fee in the amount of $325 for the Martin Luther King Youth Center located at 1298 Prince Rogers Avenue, Bridgewater, New Jersey, 08807.
I'll move 12D through F on consent.
I'll second.
Second? Okay. Is that a roll call? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Isla,
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch.
Yes.
Councilman Ring,
Yes.
Vice President Bacco.
Yes. Okay, and that ends the resolutions. Is, the next section is general discussion. Is there any general discussion? No funny stories? Explanation about why don't fold your pizza slices?
No.
Okay.
In a private conversation, we can cover that.
Okay. In that case, the next item on the agenda is a closed session.
You would need a motion to enter closed session.
May I have a motion to enter closed session?
I think you need to read it.
Oh, okay. Is that okay. A resolution for closed session on April 23rd, 2026. Be it resolved by the Bridgewater Township Council that this body will now convene in a closed session to discuss litigation related to the tax appeals and trash transfer station. When and if the matters discussed become public record, that information will be made known to the public at the appropriate time. The public is excluded from said meeting, and further notice is hereby dispensed with, all in accordance with Section 8 and 4A of the Open Public Meetings Act.
Going to make a motion to go into closed session with understanding from the administration, we will not be taking any action afterwards.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Isla,
Yes.
Councilman Kirsch,
Yes.
Councilman Ring,
Yes.
Vice President Bako.
Yes. We are in closed session.
Are we, wait, make sure we're offline. Having reached the end of our agenda, I make a motion to close this meeting. Adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Okay.
Meeting's adjourned.
Hey, nobody got hurt.